I'm just going through these latest shots through the Curiosity rock nest, the huge panorama, and I've picked up things. I'll just concentrate on this video. They look like worms. I haven't seen any rocks that be this sort of shape. Look at that. I think the head sticking up there. There's one more behind it. I'll also analyze pictures high zoom that I took. I found one that appears to be coming out of a hole, so it looks bizarre. So that's what it looks like from far away. You wouldn't pick it up, but then all of a sudden there's a shadow to it. I think that's all in one. It could be two, one of the head up and one behind. Now these could be plants or some type of, I can't see how they could be rock formations. There's one there as well, and I'll quickly pause this and take you to one other one. In this horizon shot here, we have something bizarre as well. We've got these like white little cylinders that stick out. Now that's going to be very hard to magnify. Now when you just browse through the panorama shot, this is pretty far away, so the trick is you just sort of keep zooming in on things that just stick out. So I'll take you to one now that's a little bit strange. Here again we have that white sort of a beady effect. Too far away to zoom in on. This is the one I managed to zoom in on, so it's a very good one. I'll just show you how I did it. So this is where you aim that little straight thing right in the center, and you'll be able to zoom in the way I did. And here it is. It's a white thing. This is the highest zoom I can get. Comes out of that hole. It's got its own shadow, and it just sticks out like some sort of growth. So it could be a rock. I'm not saying it isn't, but it's unusual because it's got its own shadow. There's a hole there, and it sticks out like a white, huge worm or some sort of thing that sticks out. So again, if you zoom back, the easiest way to find this one, it's right on the horizon shot there, and it's a little bit left to that straight line. So there it is, right there. And it seems to be sticking out. There's one more next to it. I'll try to zoom in. It's just white, but that one seems to come out of a hole, and it sticks all the way out like that, like a huge worm. Okay, we'll pause it and try to find some others. We found a few more in this shot. So what I'll do is I'll just zoom out to show you roughly where we are in the camera. I'll zoom in now. You see these white little beady things on the rocks. I'll enlarge that, and also down there in the sand. And as we said, I think the previous video shows a water pond, so it's very likely we could have animal life. So here's one more of these white little beady things, look like worms. So they could be, it's hard to describe, but it looks like a hole there and one there as well. So I'll actually take a picture of that one and try to analyze it. This is a very good picture. We've just lost part of that view there. I don't know why. So I think, was this the same one? No, we lost it. Okay. I'll just hop out now and try to zoom it back in. In this shot here, again, it's the closest I can show how we zoom in. Come to this angle. And as we zoom in, there's a very, very, very bright piece of rock or a metal or quartz. It's extremely luminous, so it's very rare to see something like that. So there it is. I've taken a picture of it to analyze it. We see one more there. These are very bright metallic things. They actually look like silver. There it is there, extremely bright. And the rocks are fantastic. There's all sorts of shapes in them. I mean, each time you think you've found some sort of bizarre alien carving or something, it's actually a strange rock itself. But that is very metallic-like. Okay, I'll pause it. Okay, let's start up again. Here we have what looks like one of those white things or rods sticking up out of a hole. There's one there as well. So the easiest way to see how I got that is just zoom back. So if you analyze it and use that as a marker, it's right there. I don't know what they are. I've seen quite a few of those. So they're like white crystalline things that actually stick out. And that's right near that really curly one there and a few of those ones there. Are they crystalline or are they just life forms or plants? Look at that. So here we have the actual position, and it looks like a curly white. I can't see how it can be a rock, but as we pan out to the left, we'll see some more of these. Here they are there. There's a group of them right there. I don't know what they are. I'll try to enlarge it, but one sticks right up, and there's a few of them there. They could be rock formations. They could be crystalline. But the bizarre thing is it obviously sticks out. And I really don't know what they could be. We'll just pan in on this shot here. So if you use that black rock again, it's a little bit left to the black rock. And again you'll see these white things. There's one curly one there sticking out of that hole. I don't know what they could be. Here we have some more of these bizarre white things sticking out. I don't know what they are. There's one there that just goes right out near these bizarre shaped rocks. See where it comes from? You just zoom in with this setting right here. Now that looks strange too. I don't know what that is. I'll try to zoom in on that one, but I don't know what that round black thing could be, so I'll just pause it right there. It just looks like a heap of rubble or rocks or whatever, but the strange thing is you got this very bright white thing sticking out. Actually, this looks more bizarre. It's round. It's got these black little objects around the edge, and it sticks out, and down the bottom it's triangular. So this is a very bizarre location. I'll take a few more photographs and just try to analyze the photos, but this looks very strange. It just seems to be triangular down the bottom. It comes up, it's rounded, and it's got these black things on the side. Here's one more of these bizarre tubular things sticking out of a hole right there. I'll try to enlarge the photos, but everywhere else, so you can see where I'm taking it from, I think they've actually labeled this as some sort of rock there on previous shots. So yeah, and all you see is rocks, and most of these rocks have very bizarre shapes, like that one there. It just seems to stick out, and I haven't seen that many bizarre rock shapes anywhere on Earth. They're fantastic. You'll see all these different patterns, and actually this must be one of the nicest ones I've seen. This is a beautiful one. Look at that. Isn't that bizarre? You can see the nice patterns around it. That's a beautiful rock. Very, very nice one. Look at that. Now this is very bizarre. I'll actually show you where it is from far away. So if we pick that panorama there, I've got no coordinates here, so I'm scared of losing it, so I just zoom in straight away. Look how that's been like carved out, that rock, and in the center I've actually zoomed in on it. There's like a growth in the center, just sits there. I've actually enlarged it. It's tubular. That's tubular, and so is that. And it just sits right in the center of that huge hole in that rock. So I've actually enlarged that. It looks very, very bizarre. I can't enlarge any larger. So I'll analyze the photos. In the previous video I've actually zoomed in on this part here. So I'll just show you how to get there very quickly. You just sort of zoom in right in the center of there and aim that in that direction. And what you'll see is what I've labeled as a rock pond, or a water pond, sorry, in between the rocks. There it is. It's very bright top. Seems to be at the lowest point. It's very shiny. And this is a spot here I found that very bizarre round object. Looks perfectly round. And here we've got extremely bright, luminous, white, rounded pole that comes out of the ground. That's what it looks like. And I'll now pause it and go to analyze the photos. We'll quickly analyze now the photos that I've analyzed from Rocknest. So we'll start with this one. This is the one that appears to be coming out of the hole in the ground. Maybe this might be a quick way to do this. Noise reduction. So it appears to be a rod coming out or some sort of growth. I'll revert back to original. It's not that good. Okay, we'll adjust the detail. Analyze. Exposure. Can't do much, but it appears to come out, and there's a shadow underneath it. So that's better. That's brought it up a bit. So it appears to be like comes out of that hole there. There it is, a body of it, a shadow underneath, and it just grows horizontally. Bizarre. Now this is next to it, so it's got that white sort of structure next to it. I don't think I can do much of that. That's it there again. This is the other one on a rock. It just looks like a growth. It just grows at right angles. I've never seen anything like this. I can't see how it can be a crystal. And it just, on the edge of the rock, it goes that way, then it goes at right angles. Very bizarre. Again, it could be crystalline, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Here's some more of these white things that just seem to look like worms to me. Okay, let's quickly jump to the other good photos. That's one more. Here's that curvy one. That's why it was interesting, because I can't see how that can be a rock. So let's just zoom in on it. We'll do the exposure trick. That's a bit better, better highlights. Actually, it's better to revert back to the way it was, actually. There we go. I don't know what to make out of it. Obviously, it could be some sort of crystalline shape. There's some more. I think the quickest way is just press exposure, color, noise reduction. There's one more. Nothing special. Some more of them there, obviously, on that rock. Very hard to do anything with these pictures. Nothing special. There's two of them there near that hole, so that's why that was an interesting picture. It's very sandy. You'll see a hole there. You can see these white curly things next to it. That's better. Could be rocks, crystalline. This is interesting. This was a very bright luminous object, and it just looked metallic. Extremely metallic and shiny. This looked very interesting. It just came out sideways. Exposure. Now this is bizarre. Comes out, it's got a totally round object with little black things on the side. If I can adjust that detail, this would be fantastic. I just have no idea what this possibly could be. There it is. I don't know. Totally bizarre. Maybe if I adjust exposure this way, it might be a bit easier. Don't know. Could be a rock. It just looks so strange. And finally we come up to this beautiful rock here. It's fantastic. So I'll just see if I can get some exposure adjustment on it. There we go. The colours are coming out of it. It's beautiful. So again, all we see is rocks, mostly. We haven't seen anything that looks like it's intelligent design, except this is getting strange now. We had that rock that seemed to be carved out. This is very strange. And it was a perfect like carving from out the center of it, and something sits there. It looks like a pot plant. Look at it. It just sits there. See if we can do it by adjusting exposure. This could be the quickest way. There it is. Look at it. It just seems to be like some sort of growth that sits in that big concave rock. Let's see what I can do with the detail this way. Exposure. Not much we can do with that exposure actually. It just seems to be bizarre how it would have something in a concave rock sitting there looking like that if it isn't some sort of growth. Look at that. Isn't that weird? There it is. Seems to be catching the sunlight. It sits there in that nice concave rock. This is a close-up picture. We'll see what we can do if we adjust exposure on it. Not much, so we'll revert back to the original and try this way. No, we still couldn't do that much more. There it is. It just seems to sit inside that rock that looks carved out. It's a concave shape, and that's the original photo. And there it is, it just sits there. If I enlarge that, it could be a clearer picture. Then apply noise reduction first, color, then exposure. There we go, we got a nice one there. It's beautiful, it's like a piece of art. It sits in that concaved rock. It's got a perfect concave shape to it, and there it just sits. It's like some sort of pot plant or growth. Any ideas, anyone? Look at it. That's all. So out of all these things we've found, the most interesting I assume would be that one. And this rock that has like a huge pot plant in it. Seems to grow, it's like a crystalline pot plant. Look at that.